Rhodes Media.
Oh, we love the winter sports teams are back, baby. One night it's the Sixers at the Xfinity Mobile Arena. The following night it's the Fly Guys. And what if I told you there's nothing better, and I mean nothing better, than Tick Picks prices right now that's available for you? What? $28? What? $34? What? $35? Yeah, I mean, these are reasonable prices. And we're not talking all the way up top with your backs against the wall. So right now, you have no excuse. Head to TickPick and go support your local team. And what if I told you you can get $10 off your purchase as long as it reaches $99 total for your tickets together? Get $10 off by utilizing code BROADS10 at checkout. But I love the fact that there's so much action happening in South Philadelphia on a night-to-night basis this time of the year. Go check out the Orange and Black. Go check out the Sixers. It's must-see in real life, and the best prices are on TickPick. That was a hideous weekend for the Flyers. Bad weekend. I could actually live with losing to Toronto Saturday night. It's hockey night in Canada. The Leafs looking for a road win. Matthews snipes, and they've been crushing him in Toronto this season for not really looking like the old Austin Matthews. Vladar, after starting the season off so beautifully, had a dud, and it was probably bound to happen. So, fine. But what you got to do is beat up on Calgary. They're 2-9-2. And there's no way, shape, or form am I going to accept that, well, Calgary is so desperate. And because they need it so badly or else it's going to unravel, they have to have it. Where's your desperation? You just fucking lost to Toronto and you weren't really competitive. You look like the lesser team. They controlled the game. Where's your desperation to stop the bleeding? I know it was only a game, but damn it was the night before at home in your own barn. You getting too comfortable? You need to hit the road? Shake things up? I mean, come on, man. That's no excuse. That Calgary team is miserable. But you know what's worse? You know what's more miserable? The Flyers' offense. 9 shots in 2 periods. That's impossible. That's incompetent. It is. And now everyone's pointing fingers at Rick Tocchet. And I understand. You can see in Vancouver, in Arizona, there are stats to back up the fact that his teams just can't get shots on net. So schematically and philosophy-wise, there's got to be a correlation. It's everywhere he goes. And maybe that is a part of it. I'm not here to tell you it's not. Clearly, that's a lot of track record. All right, that's a lot of data. But damn. I mean, Joe Farabee and Morgan Frost is basically handing Travis Sanheim the puck. Here you go, have it. Because you don't have Forster? Is he the guy that you need? I'm asking questions. Don't get mad at me. I'm just basing this off of the crap you're giving me. The thing is, even with the Tocchet team's graphic, these guys have played hockey a long time. I mean, 9 shots in 2 periods. You saw them humming a bit in the third. Did they change their entire philosophy in the third? Or were they just performing better? Look at me, almost defending Tocchet as the guy that wasn't the most excited about the hire of Tocchet. But I'm watching them in the third. I'm watching chunks of hockey throughout the season that makes us excited. Where we go, look at Noah Cates and Bobby Brink. Where we watch Owen Tippett score a bunch of goals in consecutive games. Where we watch Zegras Right? We've seen this all. We've seen it. So, how come these two periods look this way? It's still the Rick Tocchet game. So I'm almost pointing my finger at the guys on the bench, the guys lacing them up. They may be capped in what their ceiling is. But I know for damn sure, this ain't the ceiling. And they can all dig deep internally to find it out from an individual player basis. And I'm not the only one to feel this way. Even Tocchet is going this route. Listen to what he said after the game at the podium. This is kind of nuts. And I think he's got a lot of respect with the way he communicates with his guys. So them hearing this wouldn't be them hearing it for the first time. I bet you he says this right to their face, but in a way where it's, comfortable. This is what Tocchet said about his players.
Being tested right now, and we need some guys to step up, like, leadership. I'm an honest guy. Like, I'm not ripping our players, but we need some guys to get some will. I think we have a couple of guys last 2-3 games are accepting it's just another hockey game. The fans pay a lot of money here to watch games, and I don't think we gave them a half decent product the last 2 games. I think they're kind of a boring game, and it falls on myself. I got to get these guys to start to show some will, so that the Flyer fans, if they see some will, they'll cheer you on. If they don't, they're going to get booed.
All right, so this is more of a bigger picture thing, but what does that tell you? They're still finding this entire identity and how to respect the logo and how to go to work, and he now has to pull will out of his guys. And he mentioned leadership. Is that TK? Who's been having a piss poor start to the season? Scored a bingo. Little late. He leaves a lot of meat on the bones. I'm just saying. Coots? I think Coots is giving you everything he's got physically. The guy's eating shots from his own teammates left and right. He went through 1 billion back surgeries. I think this is Coots. Unfortunately. So is he taking shots at Coots? Trying to see if he has more in him and he's not accepting that this is him physically? He thinks there's a deeper level? Or, and this is the worst circumstance of them all, Matvei Michkov. Would he fall under the leadership group? See, I don't think he does, but I also know that Tocchet understands he's the face of the franchise, so organically you already get put into that corner. And if he's talking about Michkov, the will that he doesn't have to compete. And I think he does have to compete, but man, if you're calling out the will, and then we know about not coming into shape at training camp, and we talk about being in Dubai in a car accident, and we're talking about X, Y, and Z, then uh-oh. And I don't know if it's to that level. I'm not saying it is to that level. But when something is stated like that after a weekend that is straight up unacceptable, you can't lose to the Flames. That Flames game can't go that way. Listen, McCabe shoots a puck at the blue line in Hockey Night in Canada. Vladar screened. He has to get pulled. He doesn't play the final frame. Okay. I don't like it. But I understand stuff like that's going to happen. How do you respond? You responded with legitimate vomit offensively, and there's too much talent here for it to be that gross. Just look internally. You can't tell me Tyson Forster's the one that drives the ship. And I like him. And guess what? He is a big piece to this. But if he goes out for a couple of days and he's not going to put the skates on for a few nights, you can't be getting embarrassed by Joel Farabee and Morgan Frost like that for a team that can't do anything. The Flames can't do anything. Yet here's Huberdeau performing better than anybody else on the ice. And I'm not here to crush Kolosov. I would have liked the save to happen. Yes, there were traffic, probably taking away some of his eyes if it's his own guy. And it was placed nicely right over the glove and in between the helmet, right over the shoulder. It was a hell of a shot. But I still would like for you to say, hey, you can't post a shot. Come on. The TK goal late. Now, I'm not putting this on Kolosov. I'm just saying. The first one, if I want to do the nitpicky thing, it was a good shot, but I need you. Would the game have changed in Toronto if the Obels high sticking call went a different way? Maybe. I don't know. Probably not, though. I guess I'm not really going to sink my teeth on that and say that's the difference. Could that have sparked a comeback? Could that have got the building all excited and hyped up? And maybe you get a bleeder a couple minutes later and you blink and you're back in this thing? Sure, maybe it could have, yes. But if it didn't, that probably is a higher percentage. It sucks. And all these lines were out of whack when Forster wasn't in the lineup. In that third period, you jumble it a bit. I don't know. And when I say I don't know, I'm just referencing where to place this blame. Because a lot of me wants to look at the guys that have the pads on. Come on, man. Enter the zone. Someone drive the net. Third guy high. Am I watching TK in the slot? Maybe I got this wrong. But was TK doing a drop pass to Mitch on that one shift when they were down 2-0? Or maybe this was when it was still 1-0. You thought maybe they were humming. Because they were coming. And then the tipped shot in front of the net happened. And that just drained all life and drained all momentum. But did TK drop the pass in the slot looking for a Mitchkov backdoor? And then I even saw, was that Zamula trying to stick handle in between his skates and in his feet like he's Patty Kane in his prime with filthy mitts? Was that Zamula doing that in the neutral zone? And why isn't Andre up here? Why is Zamula and Jolson, some guy jinning, yinning? What the hell is going on here? Find a way to fucking score. Find a way to score, please, I beg of you. And not only find a way to score, Flyers, you listening, find a way to get the best cannabis on planet Earth. Oh, you know how, bros? Tell me more. Okay. Oh, Camden Apothecary. I love my cannabis. I would never put you in the wrong direction when it comes to cannabis. Philly fans, game day is stressful enough. Parking, traffic, long lines. We've all been there. But when it comes to your cannabis, Camden Apothecary makes it easy. And they are only 5 minutes over the bridge. This is the dispensary for sports fans, just minutes outside of Philly with plenty of free parking. You'll be in and out fast, no hassle, no waiting, and they don't just care about convenience. Camden Apothecary is all about the guest experience. Their staff makes sure you feel taken care of every time you walk in. Plus, they carry only the best quality cannabis at the fairest prices. So whether you're stocking up for the tailgate, the watch party, or celebrating a big win, you know you're getting the good stuff without overpaying. They even show love to the community with specials for fans, students, service members, and healthcare pros. Camden Apothecary, top quality cannabis, great prices, and an experience made for Philly fans 21 and up. Tell them Broad sent you for 10% off. That's right, 10% off. All right, so this was the lines that were thrown out there in the third when you just put it in a blender and turn it on. Zegras, Dvorak, Tippett. Grabenkin, Cates, Konechny. Which put Mitchkov with Coots and Brink. Do we want to see more Zegras, Mitchkov together? I mean, of course, that's going to tickle my undercarriage any single day of the week, so you know I'm in favor. You don't got to tickle my nutsack and call me Sally to put those two together, but speaking of Mitchkov, the Tanev thing. So I actually ended up somehow scrolling upon Steve. I haven't watched Steve Dangle in forever. But with everything happening with Toronto, it popped up on my YouTube. Flyers, Lightning. Flyers, Lightning? What the fuck is the matter with me? Flyers, Leafs. And with the Blue Jays, I don't know. Steve Dangle popped up on my feed. And he seemed aggravated with Mitchkov because he was the forward skater and Tanev was coming back. I promise I'm not trying to watch this with Flyers glasses, orange vision glasses by any means. That was seriously just so nobody's fault, it's not even funny. And truth be told, I think they just collided, and it shouldn't have even been interference. And it's scary knowing that he's coming back from a concussion and his first game back, something like that happens. And I am praying for him, his family. I saw he was released from the Philadelphia hospital on his way back to Toronto. That was the last thing I saw, and that's wonderful. But in regards to what happened there, I literally think it was two guys who were watching the puck. Michkov did have his head up, but I don't think he was anticipating Tanev to even be even close to the vicinity. And it was just awful, but I don't understand how anyone could look at Michkov and think that was anything other than just like a legitimate accident. And if that happened and Tanev didn't get injured, because the whiplash and it was scary, but if that was just two guys colliding, they both get up, they go to their bed, that's such a non-play where guys just ran into each other and then they get up. That's how of a whoa result it was. It was scary, but any sort of frustration towards Michkov is insanity in my eyes. I just want to say that. All right, where else are we here? Ladar. I don't know, that rough game against Calgary. TK tried to get a spark going. Kadri, you know what? This kind of aligns perfectly. What TK did to Kadri on the offsides call, the whistle blew. 8 seconds later, he comes in full speed and gives he gives Kadri a shot. That was worse than the Michkov thing. I actually thought that was kind of egregious. Now, he's looking for some energy. He's looking for a spark. I think he's trying to rally the fellas. He wants it to get chippy. Hathaway had a hit in the offensive corner where he drilled someone. Someone got into his face. He gave him a couple of nice how do you do's to the chin or whatever, and then Hathaway got out of the zone so the Flyers could enter the zone. You saw bits and pieces, and maybe that's not the two guys Tocchet was referencing. Now I'm kind of thinking in my own head here. So maybe he wasn't talking about TK. TK scored and tried to get chippy. Do you think he takes it like, hey, it's just another game day by day? We got 3 or 4 of these coming up here in the next week. Each game doesn't matter. Do you think that's the way TK plays? Forget the actual scoring slump and not scoring at the clip we want him to and looking off and not playing his best. Do you think it's for a lack of effort? Because a lack of effort is a lack of will, right? Is a lack of production a lack of will? It could be. It could be. But he referenced not taking it seriously on a night-to-night basis. I don't think that's TK. It's just another hockey game. I don't think it's Hathaway. So are we removing people off the checklist? I feel obligated to do that. What if Sealer scored when he hit the crossbar? Was that first period? There weren't many shots, so it's hard to forget it. Now, Calgary shot one on the power play off the crossbar as well, so I guess that both evens out. We have some text messages on the Anytime Hotline. We have phone calls as well. Let's go to Amadeo on the phones.
Okay, I'm going to, I can excuse, the game against Toronto last night because, okay, you were down Sean Couturier, Vladar looked human, you were going to snap a losing streak. It happens. It happens every day of the week. You're going to lose a game over 82 games, obviously. But when you look as flat as you did against a 2-win Calgary team, that is just completely inexcusable. And we always bring up this question about when they just cannot generate shots, they cannot generate anything offensively. It's a Rick Tocchet problem. And this is one of the main reasons why I did not want Rick Tocchet as a head coach, because there was a graphic that was shown, I believe, on the Calgary broadcast of Rick Tochet's previous 3 seasons with this season included, so 4 seasons total. This year with the Flyers, the past 2 seasons with the Vancouver Canucks, and then his last season with the Arizona Coyotes. He ranked bottom 5 in shots per game in all of those seasons. Yes, I understand one of those seasons with Vancouver, he won a President's Trophy. What happened the very next season under Rick Tocchet in Vancouver? The whole locker room went under turmoil under his watch, and then he left. I'm not saying Rick Tockett's a bad coach. I'm saying he's nothing special. And this is the problem with Rick Tockett's system. He can complain constantly about the team not shooting enough, yet this is part of his system where teams don't shoot, and it's a pattern season after season after season. And you really think you're going to generate anything offensively when you're putting Matvei Michkov with Rodrigo Apples?
Yeah, I know. I hated that too. Look, I probably want to restate some of my beginning stuff. I am very upset with the players, but maybe I will put more emphasis on this Rick Tocchet thing. I don't want to poo-poo the Tocchet thing. And I think I did probably early on just because I was all fired up. I was getting the show ready, and I know that this team is better than this in the Rick Tocchet system. And that was sort of what I was trying to express. I know there is a system. I know there is a trend, but 9 shots in 2 periods, that's on pace for, 14 shots? Is that what he averaged? 14 shots in those seasons with the Coyotes in Vancouver? 14 shots? Because that's what they were doing. So I know there's more in them within this style, and it's frustrating me on the players front. And that's probably my biggest takeaway tonight and just in my feelings now. But no, you're right. You're right. There is a clear correlation that is an issue, and that probably should have been stressed more from me. It's fair. And I'm with you. The Rick Tocchet thing, it never wowed me. I think he's part of an NHL head coaching box. And within that box, there's 15 names that get recycled, reused. And look, sometimes you win a cup when you're Craig Berube, recycled, reused. Sometimes you win a cup. Guys have been reused and recycled and won Stanley Cups. So that's there. I don't think he ever overwhelmed me, but I think I don't want to do this every time. I feel like I got to do this every time with Tocchet. But Amadeo kind of laid it out that way, and it's true. He didn't it's fine. He's a guy. He's NHL head coach. But maybe I need to dive deeper into the system thing. I don't know. I mean, I'm just saying, I see people complaining that he needs to be canned. And I know you're not saying that, Amadeo. I'm saying it's gotten to a point already with certain fans that it is time to give up. And even as someone that wasn't wowed is nowhere close to that. And then I sound like a defender when I speak to those dopes. And then maybe there's supporters who are older and have always loved Tocchet and they think he's great, but you also love Tortorella because he's an old school guy and he wasn't great, and you just get sucked to certain things about the older generation, and Tocchet was a part of that, and then you go overboard, and I don't like the crap and shit you throw my way, and then I'm on this side. I don't know. This is what I know. Get shots on net. That's what I know. Put rubber on pad. Drive the net. Do something of importance. Like smoke an Emilio cigar. Old school roots, new school attitude. Locally owned, 3rd generation, made at Fabrica Oveja Negra in Nicaragua. This Emilio cigar, imagine if the Flyers could put 50 shots on net a period. And they come out of the game with 150 shots on net. You'd say, damn, that is perfect. That's what I needed. Exactly. That's an Emilio cigar. What if I told you you get 10% off by clicking the link down below and utilizing code BROADS10 at checkout? Well, what are you waiting for? If you're a cigar smoker and you want your life to be changed and you'll never have another cigar ever again because nothing lives up to the taste that goes with this puppy that's in my hand. I'm smiling. I'm just staring at it because I want this show to be over so I can go out back and get the party started. My mouth is watering. Join me in Emilio Cigars today. Some text messages. Bill. I'm sure you saw the yes. Forster, Konechny, Brink, Sanheim, Drysdale, Mitchkov. They can't shoot more than 9 times in 2 periods. It's so dumb. Tocchet is a problem. I scroll through a little bit because he brought up the graphic as well. All right, so the graphic is clearly making its rounds. But okay, let me look through this a little bit more. With Forster, Konechny, Brink, Sanheim, Drysdale, Mitchkov, they got to have more than 9 shots in 2 periods. It's so dumb. Tocchet is a problem. I guess I really just don't have a rebuttal anymore. I kind of got my thoughts out on it. I'm with you. I think that cast of characters, even that cast of characters, while they're not Wayne Gretzky and, Lemieux and Ovi, there has to be more drive. There has to be more of a force when you enter the zone. Can we get back to the basics? Can we get back to the fundamentals? Can we have guys drive the net? One guy goes wide, third guy high, grade A scoring chances in the slot. They can't get anywhere. And some of it is just basic. Some of it isn't affected by scheme. There is like a baseline and a generic flow of hockey. Now, there are little intricacies that you try and do, but against the Maple Leafs, heavy forecheck, for example. TK gets the puck deep. That's not even a real drive the net, third guy high passing sequence. That's more a little snarl. But here's TK. He puts the puck into. Here's another reason why I don't think it's TK. So I'm still looking at Mitchkov as maybe who Rick Tocchet was trying to call out. I don't think it's Sanheim. I'm just saying, the more and more I do this, I think I'm talking myself into knowing exactly it's targeted towards 39. It's not Zegras. Definitely isn't Zegras. I think they're very thrilled with what Zegras has done. So, let me tell you something. We're working ourselves right to the guy in the crosshairs. But anyway, what was I saying? I don't remember. I got distracted by the big picture issue, which is Mitchkov is already getting called out from the coach. That's what I think is happening here. TK, the forecheck to score a couple seconds in. But it's almost like the game, I forget what night it was, where Tyson Forster scored 29 seconds in, and then after that, your offense just completely forgot how to play the sport of hockey. It's just gnarly. Jonah, did Mitchkov deserve a penalty for Tanev? I watch it over and over again. I don't see where he's at fault. I'm praying for Tanev. I see it the same way. So far with these 2 texters, I am 100% in lockstep. There's too many guys for it to be this bad. And Mitchkov, I just think it was very, very, very scary and incidental. And not even really anything other than just scary. But not a bad hockey play or even a penalty. Harry, am I worried about Konechny? He looks awful. That's simple. But, I mean, he made some plays over this weekend, scoring, and then the Toronto goal that he started. I need more. I need more. He's just one of those players where I feel he goes through a stretch where he significantly pops. And we just haven't gotten it yet, and I think it's coming. He's just been around for so long, and there's a reason why he got the contract. And am I in love with the contract? I'm not in love with it, but you sign guys like Travis Konechny. You want guys like Travis Konechny here. He is what every franchise would try and keep internal. It's a great player. And you don't accidentally earn that contract. Unless you have Chuck Fletcher as your GM, because Delorier is still here. But yeah, I need to see more from Travis Konechny. I'm just waiting for that search, because I do think we are not far away from it, and it always shows up. It's just a matter of when. It's got to get going soon here. All right, so let's take a look at what's upcoming, because I don't even know off the top of my head. I've been a little swarmed today. Was all over the place. The weekend, Halloween, family. So as we reset here on an Eagles bye, Tuesday, they're in Montreal to go see Cole Caulfield. Yeah, that's going to be a treat. The Habs are 9-3, by the way. Flyers have fallen to 6-5-1. And I can't describe enough how disgraceful of a weekend this was. After that, they go to Nashville, a 5-6-2 Nashville team that you just saw here. You need to beat up on them. I'll be going to this Saturday game at 1 o'clock, hosting the Ottawa Senators, and Claude Giroux makes the return. You're also hosting Edmonton coming up. Go on the road to face St. Louis, who had a tough start to the year. Dallas on the road. The Devils, who are 9-4. That's a home game. At the back end of the month, you're going to the Prudential Center, though. Florida again, Tampa again. You hit that road trip. So it's not easy. Not that they ever thought it would be, but some interesting tests. And even some of the tests are with the blah teams. You have to beat a St. Louis team, just like you have to beat a Calgary team. Like, these are all tests for a team that's trying to establish an identity and show the coach that there's will. That's a question of character. It's a pretty big string to pull here. Can't sugarcoat it and act like it's not. It's a big one. We'll see how the team responds. All right, everybody, that's going to do it. Love you. Always fun talking orange and black. I'll catch you on the next one.